carry out, you know what I'm saying, execute them, kill them. You know. Go ahead.
Come. All right, if it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. And I will pay 10,000 talents of silver to the hands of those that have the charge of the business, to bring it into the king's treasuries.
Wow. The people that's over the his generals and captains of the host. That means he was willing to spare no expense. Like I was saying before, the wealth and everything that they get, they can't even enjoy it unless they destroying us.
Right.
They can't even enjoy it. Go ahead.
Time. Verse 10. And the king took his ring from his hand and gave it unto Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, the Jews' enemy.
Wow. And he ended up getting a ring from the king and everything. But, the king doesn't know who it is that he plans on getting rid of.
Right.
And he don't even know.
Right.
Authorized.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Come. Verse 11. And the king said unto Haman, the silver is given to thee, the people also, to do with them as it seemeth good to thee.
Whoa, this is some serious stuff right here. They got to destroy all the Jews, regardless of where they're at.
Right.
Man, that's some rough stuff right there. He was given this much power, and like I said, he wasn't all by himself, and he certainly wasn't the only one to hate us, because also his family was inside the Medo-Persian Empire also. That's what they do everywhere they go. They'll move in, and then they'll start moving their people in. His 10 sons are there. And his friends, his wives, and his friends are there now. Setting up, just like they do, just like they've always done all throughout history, the same thing.
Right.
Want to move in, get a big position, then he start moving the other ones in.
Yeah.
Positioning, putting them in position. Next thing you know, your whole cabinet is full of them.
Right.
And the politics, the political table's full of them. And they pretty much, now they're controlling things. Now, they can get rid of whoever the hell it is that they want. They sat on the board of all of these major corporations. Bill Gates' mom was CEO over 5 companies. This is before he even became, Bill Gates, this great, Microsoft tycoon. This is before that.
Right.
But that's what started to put him in position. His mom sat on the board of 5 companies as CEO. That's a lot of, power and influence right there. And what are they? Jewish,
right.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. Then were the king's scribes called on the 13th day of the first month, and there was written according to all that Haman had commanded unto the king's lieutenants, and to the governors that were over every province, and to the rulers of every people, of every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language. And the name of King Azarias was written, was it written and sealed with the king's ring.
Now think about it. All of those. Now everybody wants to attack the ghetto.
Right.
Everybody seeing the time, seeing the opportunity to do a Black Wall Street move throughout all the 127 provinces. Okay. Any more?
Verse 13. And to all the king's provinces, to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women in one day.
Man, They planned on doing this in one day throughout all the 120. Planning on totally sieging us.
That's the purge right there.
Right, yeah, that's the purge. Yeah, exactly. That's the purge right there. That's why they, came out with that movie. That is the purge. Right there. You know where we're at, Amon?
3 and 13, sir?
Right.
At the top?
Yeah, you go ahead and take it to the top.
Book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 13. And the letters were sent by post into all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews.
Right. Now think about it. All of these places, of course, they was going. This is what they was doing to us in Black Wall Street.
Right.
They wanted to do this all throughout the 127 provinces. That's a lot of places right there. You know what I'm saying? This is 127 great cities. I don't even know. The provinces are made up of more than just one city, right? It's multiple cities.
It almost be like the Midwest.
Right. That would be considered one province,
yeah,
right?
Kind
man.
A good land mass. Like
right.
Yeah.
Imagine 127 of them. That's the whole known world. And they wanted to destroy us in one day like that. And sending letters to everybody to get rid of us. Who has that type of burning hatred for us right there? You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why they ain't been able to do it to us yet is because the Most High, that would do, because the Most High has angels assigned to make sure that they can't get down on us like that. They can only destroy us in like measure and stuff like that. So they can't just wipe us all out, because if they could wipe us all out, they would.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, their wealth is nothing to them if we're alive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Think about the level of hatred there. They can't even enjoy their wealth if we're alive.
Right.
That's the excellency of the hatred of Esau right there. You know what I'm saying? And the Agagites, even among the Amalekites, are the top dogs. Okay, now let's go to Esther in the Apocrypha, chapter 14 and verse 15.
It's like you said, first Esther?
No, Esther in the Apocrypha. Esther, the book of Esther. The Apocrypha.
Additions to Esther.
Okay, the additions. Yeah, the additions.
Additions to Esther.
I always just call it the Apocrypha Esther.
Walk off a normal person.
The non-stick manure man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Damn right.
That's right.
And this day, he has nothing, the Feast of Purim, he has no relation to it. Other than them getting their behinds kicked.
Right.
So which one are you?
Chapter 14 and verse 15.
Esther chapter 14, verse 15. Thou knowest all things, O Lord.
This is Esther right here praying. Now Esther is married to the king here. And what does Esther do? Instead of trying to just save her own life, her mind is worried about her people. Her mind is stayed upon her people. This is the way a strong sister is actually supposed to be.
That's
a strong
right.
sister is not supposed to crack up under the pressure and break up under the pressure. You look, it's like you hear women say, well, black women have to be more masculine because of, you know, a certain such and such a, and the black man, you know, we had to run in front, and we had to do all of this and that. We had to be the strong ones. No, you take on a masculine spirit, that means you're actually weak.
Right.
You cracking under the pressure, you know, and not only pressure, but natural envy of the male species. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Thou knowest that I hate the glory of the unrighteous.
She hates the glory of the unrighteous because the Medes and the Persians, even though they wasn't as bad as others, they were still an unrighteous nation. They were still worshiping idols and all of that also. Right? Read that part again.
Thou knowest that I hate the glory of the unrighteous.
She hates the glory of the unrighteous. Now this woman is holy. She's separate. Go ahead.
And abhor the bed of the uncircumcised.
And abhor the bed of the uncircumcised, because the king was not an Israelite, right? He wasn't required to be circumcised. He's of another nation. Now she says she abhorred the bed of. What is this telling you? What is this telling you about her feeling towards the king? Go ahead. Not towards the king as personally, but go ahead.
I was going to say she did not like him.
Right. You read that part again. She did not want him. She would much rather marry an Israelite man.
Right.
But considering a certain time and the situation of what's going on, and she didn't have a choice in that marriage. Mordecai hooked that up. She didn't go and want to holler at the king herself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She saw this as an opportunity to save her people, and then you got to think about how did she grow up with a head covering? Yes, she did. Her father died when she was little.
Right.
You know, Mordecai was actually her older cousin. It was more like an uncle. You know, he was her older cousin, and he raised her from the time that she was a little girl. And she did everything Mordecai told her to do. Go ahead.
Are you sure he wasn't an uncle?
No, he was an older cousin. Older cousin to her, but they were still, you know, he was still real close with the I think her father was actually his uncle.
Okay.
Like, you know, their fathers were probably brothers, or he Mordecai might have been the son of his sister, or her father's sister, or something like that.
Yeah.
They were real close, you know, but she grew up, she was much younger than him, and he raised her.
Right.
Go ahead.
And abhor the bed of the uncircumcised.
She abhorred the bed of the uncircumcised. This was a disgusting thing to her, but she was going to do it to save her people.
Right.
You know. And he was probably a real attractive heathen dude or a heathen woman, right? But Esther, you know, she was close knitted to her people. She wanted, you know what I'm saying, somebody like unto Mordecai.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, she would much rather be, and that's probably what she thought her whole life, what she would have. You know what I'm saying? Her prince would, you know, preferably maybe be some, you know, Benjamite brother or whatever, you know, that come from a good family, such and such. And in order for this to throw, you know, a situation like this, she never thought that she would actually be with a non-Israelite. She never thought that. Nor did she ever pursue him. This was something for this time to save her people. Go ahead.
And of all the heathen,
and of all the heathen, she was a sister of sisters that only wanted to deal with Israelite people, period.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 16. Thou knowest my necessity, for I abhor the sign of my high estate, which is upon my head.
And she said she abhors the sign of her high estate. She did not like to be the queen.
Right.
As a matter of fact, we're not even a nation that's accustomed to queens anyway.
Right.
Right.
You know, so we don't. That's not our. The only reason why she is a queen is because she's now amongst a heathen nation, and she's now married to a heathen king. But what she's doing is using the title queen to protect and to defend her people.
Right.
That's what she's doing.
Right.
And she abhors it. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like to be called Queen Esther. She doesn't like it at all. You know, she'd much rather be called Esther the sister. She'd much rather that. You know, Aqua Esther. She'd rather be called that. Go ahead.
I have my high estate, which is upon mine head. In the days wherein I showed myself.
Like her humility, you know, because she's one growing up among her own people, you know, before she even gets any type of title, you know, she a sister first,
Right.
you know, but now she's being called a queen,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
damn near like a female king, you know what I'm saying? And she's abhorring that title. I mean, you know, because this is a greatly humbled sister right here, so humble that she did whatever Mordecai told her, even if what he told her to do, you know, seemed wrong.
Right.
She totally trusted in, you know, because think about how it would feel to a diehard Israelite woman like that, you know,
Right.
a man that raises her, you know, want you to get yourself into the harem of the king, or, you know, get all of that. Her blood, you know, I mean, her mind is not going to set well with her. But she always did what he told her to do, you know. So she went ahead and did that. You know. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know.
Come. For I abhor the sign of my high estate, which is upon mine head. In the days wherein I showed myself, and that I abhor as a menstruous rag.
She looks at that crown of jewels and diamonds and, you know, and all of that she had on her head that cost no telling how much money. She looks at that like she looks at a menstruous rag. Read that part again.
High estate, which is upon the high estate, I abhor the sign of my high estate, which is upon my head.
Which is that's the crown. She says she abhors the crown. Go ahead.
In the days wherein I showed myself.
Right, because she decks herself out like that only to represent the king.
Right.
That's it. You know, only to represent the king and her nation. You know, but actually, you know, she's wearing, you know, the stuff of the Persians and all of that, right? She's a defense to our own people, because they see her with that on, they know we're defended, because every damn body hates us.
Right.
And the way that this makes the king, you know, to all the king's adversaries and his princes and all that, and all the other nations, she makes the king look good. You know. Go ahead.
And that I abhor it as a menstruous rag.
Right, she abhors it as a menstruous rag, and we know what a menstruous rag is. Go ahead.
And that I wear it not when I am private by myself.
When she's by herself, she does not wear none of that stuff. She's in sackcloth. You know, she's in the clothes of mourning. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And that thine handmaid had not eaten in Amon's hop and Amon's
And
table.
she said she never sat before the table of Haman. He wanted, he probably wanted her to, most likely, to try and make, because what does the serpent do? The serpent go for the woman. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So I wanted to ask, is Amon the same as Haman?
Right, same person.
I know.
It's just pronounced different spelling, You know, it's the same person though. You know, the spelling's based on the translator.
Right.
You know, that's why you see it in the Apocrypha it's Amen, but you see it in the Bible it's Haman. You know, all right.
It's like, and then it's like verse 17. And that thy handmaid had not eaten at Haman's table, and that I have not greatly esteemed the king's feast.
Right, and she neither the king's feast did she greatly esteem him. She was there because she don't want to make the king look bad. You know, that's why she was there. You know, she was there acting elegant and acting like she's happy to be there, but deep down inside she's not. All right.
Nor drunk the wine of the drink offerings.
Right, she didn't do any of that. All right. Now what we're gonna do? Let's go to Esther 9:1. Esther in the Bible, Old Testament. Okay. Over here, the
I just have to throw it in there.
Esther, chapter 9, verse 1. There we go. Slide. Alright, Esther, on the 12th month, that is the month of Adar, on the 13th day of the same, when the king's commandment and his decree drew near to be put in execution, in the day that the enemies of the Jews hoped to have power over them, though it was turned to the contrary, that the Jews had rule over them that hated them.
Look at that. That happened that quick. They sought to destroy us that quick. The Most High put us over them that quick. Real fast. You know what I'm saying? Just like what they sought to destroy us. Go ahead.
Verse 2. The Jews gathered themselves together in their cities throughout all the provinces of the king Assyrius, to lay hand on such as thought their hurt.
To kick ass.
Right.
To riot.
Right. Right.
Go ahead.
And no man could withstand them.
That means nobody can get with us. Right? Go ahead.
For the fear of them fell upon all people.
What verse you at?
That was the end of verse 2, sir.
Okay, cool. Go on to verse 3.
Come. And all the rulers of the provinces, and the lieutenants, and the deputies, and officers of the king helped the Jews.
Look at this. Now you have non-Israelites. You know, that's one thing. When we got the advantage point, and we we doing people in and for, the heathens want to help us then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I used to notice that even like in high school. If there was a racial fight going on in high school, and of course in the racial fights we would always get the upper hand. It would even be devils jumping in to help us.
Right.
Beating down other devils. But when we losing, it happens the direct opposite. Now everybody, you know what I'm saying, the people that ain't even got nothing to do with it want to help to destroy us. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, and I hate to even try to ask this question with this verse considering Israel, but you give that any equations to white people helping out in the Black Lives Matter movement?
That's a battle we're losing. They don't want to do what they're actually doing is they see any type of movement that we're doing and want to latch on to it. Because at first it seemed like we're picking up some steam in it. But once we let them in, and then they understand too that it's filled up with gay people and stuff like that, they already know we're pretty much losing. So that ain't nothing but some stuff that they're trying to hijack to steal the thunder of themselves. These people here couldn't do that. They couldn't hijack, anything. All they could do was help and they go back to their own damn land. Because they wasn't getting ready to get rulership over the Jews. Those same ones that helping out with Black Lives Matter, hell, it is funded by a devil that hates black people.
Right.
They can't stand, what is it, George Soros? Is that the name of the guy that finances Black Lives Matter? And they know that we naked and undone when we got an organization that's ran by lesbians. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I forget the devil's name. That might be it. I double check. It's funded by a devil, but I know it started off with black lesbian woman. Because on the Black Lives Matter website, they said, like in big bold letters, we are for the woman and the children only.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. At first, it doesn't say no more on the website. It says that we are here for the woman and the children only.
Right.
And it started off between two lesbian women.
Right.
But then when black people started to get killed more frequently after Trayvon Martin, they switched the narrative. And then it's like, yeah, Black Lives Matter. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now they made it a whole political thing. The protests and stuff like that. That's how they started.
Right. And also,
I'm sorry. After Trayvon Martin and Mike Brown, that's when Black Lives Matter became popular. So. Yeah.
That was before anybody really had heard of them like that.
Absolutely.
Most people really didn't hear of them.
So that's like 2016.
Right.
Around 2016, 2015.
Right.
Because after Mike Brown, Arthur Sterling had died. Philando, Jamal Clark, in Minnesota as well. Sandra Bland, Terrence Crutcher, Kareem Gaines. I can go on and on.
Right. Yeah. And then the oppressor, what he wants to do, because he understands also too, what he wants to do is he wants to make sure that the dynamic of any man.
Right.
He wants to make sure of that, because another thing he understands is how the bulk of the black women really wants. That's why anytime there's a great movement among us, he makes himself an option for her. Every single time. And you go back in history, and it's always been like that.
You might say that one more time.
Okay, every time there's some great movement among us, he always makes himself an option for her. He knows exactly what card to play. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see interracial stuff between black women and white men in commercials. This is done for her. You know what I'm saying? This is done to even with the heavyset black woman. You know what I'm saying? The heavyset black woman was always an ally of the black man because, Esau really wasn't looking at her like that. But now, he's even doing that now. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that you have no allies. And that's why you see the Black Lives Matter women, they out there twerking and all of that. Twerking in front of cop cars. Because they want him to desire them. That's what that Black Lives Matter movement is all about. Go ahead.
I mean, we even got brothers out there. Brothers, this is one video. It is kind of hilarious. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it's dumb at the same time. You got this white girl and this black dude crumping in front of the goddamn cops.
I seen that. I seen that. That was totally damn retarded. I seen that.
It doesn't make sense. It's
right.
What are you saying?
Right, that's what I'm saying. He started doing some type of in front of the he's doing it right in front of the police. Police was sitting there looking like, look at this damn idiot.
Yeah.
The dude sitting there, he's big, strong type of brother too. He figured he got to have a dance off with the cop.
But the funniest part is when the dude gets the crumping and stuff, he puts a gun sign to his head and shit. It's like,
oh man,
I guess. What are you saying?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And then the white girl, she over there struggling, trying to crump. She don't know what the hell.
Right, I see that.
She's all over the place.
Right.
Like,
I'm like, man, And then, that looks, you know how weak that makes us look? Man.
And the cops just sitting there like statues.
Right.
Like, look at these niggas.
Right, that's what I'm
Like,
doing.
it doesn't make any sense.
He's doing it. I'm surprised he didn't just start like miming or something.
Hey, look, after class, I got the video. I'll show you.
Oh man, I remember stopping and seeing that. Yeah, I do want to watch it again though. I mean,
I got the video. You got 5 minutes left. Too.
All right. I'm like, this is what our strong men are doing. You know what I'm saying? This is what this dude, if he was in the school, he would have, structure on how to be strong effectively. But he's, out there, they're just like begging, it's still a form of begging them not to kill you, is what he was out there doing. Begging, see, look what y'all do to us. Look what y'all do to us. That's what he's spiritually saying. Look at what y'all do. They know what they do to you, dummy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're an enemy. That's, I mean, hell, even animals are way smarter than that. The deer don't go before the wolf would be like, yo, look what y'all doing to us. Y'all kill and eat us.
Yeah.
I mean, damn.
It's like, I got a precept for you.
Okay.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 40, verse 28. My son, lead not a beggar's life, for better it is to die than to beg.
Perfect precept right there. That's perfect. And that perfectly describes what dude was out there doing. Now, the woman that was next to him doing it, I don't look at that as so bad. I mean, it just is what it is on that. And then the devil back there, I know why she was doing what the hell she was doing. But the brother, especially bad, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that made us look, I mean, he looked like the type of brother that should be in the UPK, but instead he's out there, emotionally crunking and stuff like that. Just imagine the destructive mindset that brother was raised with. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, that's crazy.
It's like he was getting that shit though.
Yeah, he was crunking good.
Yo, teach me your ways, sensei.
Right, exactly. He's an expert crunker. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, and Lord be with the brother. I understand other people's goals. Like, I get like their personal interest in it,
right?
And the way that they feel it should be best expressed. But doing this in front of not to express your rage and intolerance of what's going on.
Right. That only displays that you have nothing to offer.
Because they're required of us that song and dance anyway.
Right, exactly.
Who cares?
Right. And he's thinking if I'm crunking, maybe they'll realize, hey, we shouldn't be killing them. Like, crunking is going to make him realize that.
Maybe if he crunks a little bit harder.
Right.
Swinging his fist around more.
Right.
Like fighting.
Right. Maybe if we brace our break dancing and start, doing the dolphin, maybe it'll help.
I was also going to say, like, I remember about like maybe 3 years ago, it was like a 3-year-old class that GEN.YAHANNA that did. He mentioned how, like, the more that we dance, the more that we sing, we die. They kill us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The more that we shuck and jive for them, they kill us.
Right.
Because, you know why? They have no respect for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's not going to stop anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, you can make a whole stance with your dancing and your singing or your acting and things of that sort. That's not going to stop it.
Right.
It's the laws.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is what they do respect. You know what I'm saying? To a certain extent.
Right.
Because we know, like in the scriptures, how the heathens, you know what I'm saying? Like, when we are on top of our shit, they respect that. And they see it. But when we are falling off, why should we respect these people?
Right.
When they don't follow their law, their God perfectly. Remember back in Exodus when it talks about they grow in wax, they grow in number and wax number, something like that.
Right.
Wax code and number, something like that. Right. But let's not deal with it right now. But the moment that they stop serving their God, that's when we go in. and overcoming. You see
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
You know what I mean? And that makes perfect sense. Go ahead.
And
Just to add on to that too, because those hipster individuals, the civilians, the citizens, that might have been very profound to them. They might have seen that artistic expression and seen all the emotion that was being displayed, and that might have touched them individually. Alright, no sweat. But that didn't mean a damn thing to the ruling class and the people that worked under them, the people that served them. They didn't respect that.
right.
Like that didn't mean anything to them. That didn't move them. It certainly didn't move them off their line.
Right.
It didn't keep them from killing another brother.
Right. But I can't tell you where the twerking thing will work at though. I can tell you where it will work. They get into it with a black man and have it same emotional and start twerking and start doing all of that. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, they end up in the bedroom. Next thing you know, they forgot what they was arguing about. It'll probably work. It'll work there. I remember this sister telling me one time. She said it was somewhere where they was having a problem because said they was taking the black boy place. I can't remember where it was at, and they was like rich heathens was using them as sex slaves like that, and there was a lot of these women's sons. Said that they showed up on the courthouse of this place naked in protest.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard.
They showed up naked in protest, right? Now just imagine the woman got a problem with you, and she just take off her clothes and show up naked in front of you in protest. You know what I'm saying? If she have that type of, feeling towards you as she have towards them, they wrong her. She want to get naked and want to be desired by them. You know what I'm saying? She should do the same, to have that same energy with you. Y'all had a disagreement, and all of a sudden she show up. You back in your, man cave or whatever. She show up at the door of your man cave naked in protest. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a lot of these marriages will start to be fixed, right? If that was going on, you know what I'm saying? What verse are we at?
Well, I grabbed a precept. He actually got the verse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but then, since she's not doing that in protest to you, what is she doing? She's trying to go to blows with you. She ready to cuss you out in protest. You know what I'm saying? She ready to, belittle you as a man, but she's not doing any of that with them. She out there flipping and flopping around in front of the damn police half-ass naked. She ain't emasculating him or none of that. She's showing him what she got to offer sexually.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't kill us. Just have sex with her. Just F us. That's what that twerking stuff is really saying. Don't kill us. Look, you can have this. That's what they're spiritually saying, for real.
Yeah.
You can have all of this. Why murder us? We're better in bed than we are dead.
Let's get one for
All right. Okay.
I don't know the last one he was at.
He was at Esther 9 and let's see. I'm gonna go jump down.
Lock the door.
Jump down a bit.
Lock the door.
Matter of fact, I want to bring out one point here.
Stop running. Just walk. You said what now?
The verse when it says, "And the people of the land be."
Esther 8 and 17.
8 and 17.
I got you.
Okay.
That might be it. Listen. Esther chapter 8, verse 17. And in every province, in every city, whethersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them.
So they became Jews. What did they start doing? They started to worship the Most High, right? And started to imitate us. Now, it was done out of the fear, right? But once the fear subsided, right? Once there was no fear no more, now they found the expedient for heathens to call themselves Jews so that this could be a precursor of the real Jews losing their identity. You know what I'm saying? So now that was the precursor to the people that are heathens that call themselves Jews today. It started off with something small as this. Because after the fear was gone, a lot of them picked back up their own, other gods, their false gods and everything. They picked that stuff back up. But then you had one group out there that found the expedience of them calling themselves that. And this started from the same Amalekites that were now in the Caucasus Mountains, in the Khazar Empire, who had Islam on one side of them, Christianity on the other side. They didn't want to side with with Islam, because then they would piss off the Christians and they would be at odds with them, and they didn't want to be Christians and piss off Islam. So what they did, they said, we're going to call ourselves Jews, to keep themselves neutral. And so that they can build up their forces and everything like that by being, Jews who had, because at the time, the Christians, and they didn't want to be a part of that. Because, see, they're a snake, real snake-like people, and all the wars and everything, it made them kind of small in number at the time. So they decided to take on, that. And also, too, it was killing two birds with one stone, because now they wouldn't be totally an enemy of the Christian side or the Islamic side, and they will be able to take away the identity of the real Jews, which was us, Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So it was killing two birds with one stone with that. That is the class for the Feast of Purim. We are the I.S.U.P.K coming out of 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander GEN.YAHANNA. Go to the I.S.U.P.K near you. Enjoy the feast with the priests and prophets of the Lord. And with that being said, I'm about to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Amandabar.
We are the I.S.U.P.K. These are security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shut themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to marry, or SKYPE, from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. Malachi, chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew. Ma'ishra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. You can go about this one of two ways. You either go to ISUPK.com, scroll down to the Donate Now button. You can pay your tithes that way or make donations that way. You can also, if you have the Cash App, go to $1 West Tithes. Pay your tithes that way. You can still also make donations that way. If you're in the Midwest area, you can go to $UPK Minnesota, and we'll accept tithes and donations in that form also. midst of the Feast of Purim. It closes down. It closes out tomorrow at sundown. So still get in contact with the school nearest you and finish out the tradition. We also have the Passover still coming up, April 24th. We're going to be in Houston, Texas, the B&H Ranch. Again, I.S.U.P.K.com. Get in contact with the closest school near you. Figure out the travel arrangements, the lodging arrangements, and get your funds right. Get everything set up ahead of time so you ain't got to worry about it when it happens. If any brother wants to be trooper in the school, start wearing all black: boots, shirt, pant, headband, and scarf. With that, upon Yaakov down, you can turn the face to east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Ayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakutka, Taba'ah, Rafazaka, Ayah, Aisha, Barakazah, Kawah, Ayah, Shemayim, Satananaw, Satam, Call, Yawam, Masalak now, Kabawak now, Kasalak now, Kabawak now, Wala'ah, Ayah now, Anasai Paul, Awshai now, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wahala, Wa'ata Parak, La'arulam, Aman.
Lord's Prayer in English. Our
Our
Father,
Father,
which art in heaven,
which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
thy kingdom come,
thy kingdom come,
thy will be done,
thy will be done
in earth,
as
it is in heaven.
it is in heaven.
Give us this day,
Give us this day
our daily bread.
our daily bread.
Give us of our debts,
Give us our debts.
as we forgive our debtors.
We forgive our debts.
And lead us not into temptation,
Lead us not into
but
temptation,
deliver us from
but
evil.
deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
Thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it. Pray to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Barak Lanau.
Barak Lanau.
Vayashal. Wahabaya. Sapari. Barak. Rapa'ah. Amagan. Hagan. At this time you can say the name of a loved one once. Everyone repeats that name once. If you're following us on YouTube or on Facebook, you can type that name of a loved one in and we'll send the prayers up.
I.S.U.P.K. Indianapolis.
I.S.U.P.K. Minneapolis.
Ardell Cook.
Ardell Cook.
Prince Ola Robinson.
Prince Ola Robinson.
Stanley Hall.
Stanley Hall.
GEN.YAHANNA.
GEN.YAHANNA.
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Shai, angels, officers, troopers, students, sisters, children. I.S.U.K. Minneapolis.
I.S.U.K. Indianapolis.
Ted, Qudasayan, Tarak, Kanagabar, Mungabar, Sathar Kaya, Tabadabar, Tim, Cliff, Awala, Shagariah, Bariah, Kunayala, Paya'ala, Pama'ol, Barmak, Yawash, Ramak, Lubmak, all of Israel,
Makabi, Jenny, Doobie, Denzel, Lil Carr, Jakar, Jonah, Isabella, Shanika, Dinar, Yapa, Nan, Marshall, China, Kalani, Zararia, Zion, Kyla, Mariah, Tanaya, Keyshawn, Nadia.
Israelite School U.P.K. Benjamin, Jamie, Ali, Whitney, Raphael, William, Christopher Hill,
Christopher Hill,
McIntosh family,
McIntosh family,
Kayal,
Kaya,
Zaria,
Azariah,
Young Man B,
Young Man B,
all of Israel.
all of Israel.
Ray,
Ray,
the Rollins family,
the Rollins family,
Izara,
Azar,
Akawina,
Kawana,
Kawa,
Kawa,
Makai,
Ka,
Dakaya,
Tekai,
Natazah,
Natazar,
Captain Asha Pari,
Captain I.S.U.P.K,
Captain Azaniah,
Captain Azaniah,
Captain Mawakwa,
Captain Malakwa,
Captain Shawariala,
Captain Shaboryala,
Captain Ratazaya,
Captain Ratazar,
Captain Mashak,
Captain Shah,
all of Israel.
all of Israel. It's like anybody on Facebook, YouTube.
La-
Bashim Yahushua,
Bashim Yahushua,
the Wad Alman.
What up? Brother, bless Israel in English. Lord, in the name of Yahushua,
Lord, in the name of Yahushua,
bless us
bless us
and Israel
and Israel
and school.
and the school.
Bless,
Bless,
heal,
heal,
shield,
shield,
protect,
protect,
loved ones.
loved ones.
In the name of
in the
Yahushua,
name of Yahushua.
thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. Blessed be Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and
and
earth.
all things living.
all things living.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of
in the
Yahushua,
name of Yahushua.
listen to us now,
To us now,
right now.
right now.
Say evils and curses,
And evils and curses,
punishment, destruction
punishment and destruction
to the heathen
to the heathen
that speak against
that
us,
speak against us,
thy prophets,
thy prophets,
the teachers,
the teachers,
princes,
the princes,
priests,
the priests,
the Israelite brothers,
the Israelite brothers,
and the school.
and the school,
Say evils and curses,
and evils and curses,
punishment, destruction
punishment and
to
destruction
the heathen,
to the heathen.
and shake loose the treasure
Shake loose the
of the
treasure
rich of Israel,
of the rich of
that
Israel.
refuse to give to the
That
school.
refuse to get to the school.
Force their riches
Force their riches
into thy sanctuary.
into thy
And
sanctuary.
evils and curses,
And evils and curses,
and punishment, destruction
punishment and
to
destruction
the Edomites,
to the Edomites,
and the nation,
and the nation,
and their drug
and
dealers,
their drug dealers,
court system,
court system,
prison system,
prison system,
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
all the governments of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church,
Pope,
the Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Catholicism,
intelligence,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation,
Skinheads,
skinhead,
Posse Comitatus,
Comitatus,
Gay Movement,
gay movement,
Lesbian Movement,
lesbian movement,
Spies,
spies,
Workers of Witchcraft,
workers of witchcraft,
Answer Space Program,
National Space Program,
Army,
Army,
Navy,
Navy,
Air Force,
Air Force,
Marines,
Marines,
Wall Street,
Wall Street,
Open up the internet,
open up the internet,
and the airways,
and the airwaves,
cable access channel,
cable access channel,
and the radio channel.
and the radio channel.
Convict the spirit
Prevent the spirit
of any of thy people
of any of our
that
people
seek to stop
that
us
seek to stop
and
us,
bring swift destruction
bring swift destruction
to all the heathens
to all the
that
heathen,
stand in the way,
stand in the way,
try to stop
or try to
us
stop
from
us,
broadcasting your word
broadcasting your word
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues,
Let lose all the plagues,
cause them to go to and fro
cause them to go to and fro
through the earth
through the earth
and consume
and
them.
consume them.
Let the plague shake
Let the plague shake
the house of the thief
the house of the thief
and the murderer.
and the
And
murder.
Yahushua,
Like Yahushua,
Michael and Gabriel,
Michael and Gabriel,
down with the flying
down
saucer
with the flying saucer,
and punish all the heathen
punish all the heathen
that come up against
that come
us
up against
as
us
we speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by
That is
all.
the angels that have done
It's
it.
the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread
Cause it to be
through
spread
the media
through the media
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake it thy
Cause
come.
them to shake it thy come.
Even in the name of
In
Yahushua,
the name of Yahushua,
thank you always.
thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
Saw, turn. Men of Israel, Amadu Shabbat, Amadu, Barak,
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Barakatah.
Yasmatah, courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amadu Shabbat, Amadu, Barak,
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua,